all about the gospel.
My name is Ogbeiwi, and I'm a very important person on this wonderful quest. I am a music director, voice coach, band leader, organize music. Of course, a lot of you have seen me on television, but this is basically different because we're giving back to the Almighty, to people who are in the ministry with our experience in the industry. So you could say we are managers of the MINdustry. It's a thing of joy for me when you see people who can sing, carefree about it. Some are very, very serious. But at the same time, you're wondering when they're doing it in front of people who they're meant to heal or make happy, why is there no sincerity in it, especially in the body language? Sometimes you listen to the words, they're not real. Sometimes you see the act they put up on stage, they're not emoting enough. This is what we're here to basically correct. In 1986, my sister and I walked her to church. She was going for rehearsals and the journey began. A few years after that, I met a wonderful man who basically changed the perspective of everything. You don't just have to be in one place. Team lead in a church or in a choir. You could be more. Why can't you hear what everybody else is doing? Why can't you add rhythm to it? Why can't you add chords to it? Why don't you perform to a larger spectrum? And when you eventually do that and you get tired of it, why don't you become the master of it with the special grace of God? I wanted the role of a vocal coach. I also wanted the role of a music director, but I have been given the role of the headmaster. Precision, discipline, perfect results. That's a phrase. You have to be ready to do the work. You have to be basically ready to make enemies. You have to learn. You have to be disciplined. You have to be willing to take all the criticisms of this earth. Meet new people who will give you a different perspective. Keep money away from your thought process. If you do not, you can't do what we do. We're going to be laying it brick by brick, stone by stone. I would have been a civil engineer. A breath of fresh air finally in the MINdustry, where people get to express themselves. They don't get to migrate from doing secular music to church music or vice versa. You stay in one industry, you get rewarded in that industry when your time comes. First thing you need to own, and this is coming from someone who's got wisdom, grace is God's gift to you. The discipline to carry that grace is your gift to yourself. Once you've acquired both, you're completely unstoppable in the heart of Jesus, in the heart of men and women who want the Savior as their own personal gift. And of course, you'll put out music in the most spectacular way. to praise the one who gave us the gift and the grace with the discipline to carry that grace. A company that is a drop in the ocean. If you find them, you have found peace in everything that concerns the business of the MINdustry. They take care of all the dirty work, but in this case, we're talking about law, administration, and everything that's going to cause you a headache or two, whilst you concentrate on the gift of worship, music, ministry, and of course, gathering God's people together. But do not forget, greed is not part of their forte. So if you're nursing that ambition, the headmaster is here to make sure you unlearn and relearn. If you stay with EeZee Global Concepts, it is the beginning of wonderful things for you. Because here, grace flourishes. To consider an MINdustry that has a $2 billion turnover, like I said, once we get rid of them gray areas, greed, selfish interests, then we are ready. In terms of the gospel ministry, we are flourishing, we are growing, especially with our diverse ethnicity and the languages. We can basically turn that Tower of Babel to an understanding kingdom in God's eyes. And until we begin to learn that, we still have a long way to go. To all our ministers who are putting great music out there, we say thank you. We also want to raise role models in that ramification. And we ask you to please embrace them, just like people have embraced you. To raise great gospel musicians who believe in the word, who can channel that word through faith to music, touch the hearts of those who are bleeding for salvation, and of course, spread that gospel across the planet. Do not forget, that mustard seed cannot stay with you alone. It needs to grow in water, in good soil, on the rocks, and everywhere else where peace and tranquility resides. Oh, my name is Ogbeiwi, the headmaster of Gospel Groove Talent Quest. If you were planning never to be involved, now is the time to make that decision. I will be here waiting for you to harness that talent. And you had better be ready.
It's all about the gospel. Come on!
Gospel Groove. It's all about the gospel.